Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. I'm Lester, and my group mates are Jasmine Rose de Los Angeles and Kathleen Araneta. For this time, we will tackle about one of the important part of our history na hindi masyado nabibigyan ng importansya. So this is all about 1872 Cavite Mutiny, ang pag-asa sa Cavite. So the Filipino version will be discussed by Jasmine Rose de Los Angeles.
1872, napaka-importante nito dahil walang 1896 Revolution kung wala ang 1872 Cavite Mutiny. Tandaan nyo yan, classmate, dahil mamaya pagtagpi-tagpiin natin ang mga events, mga pangyayari kung bakit naging contributory ang Cavite Mutiny sa Philippine Revolution. Two major events happened in 1872. 1872 Cavite Mutiny, martyrdom of the three priests in the person of Fathers Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. Cavite Mutiny, two version, Filipino version and Spanish version. Filipino version, yung unahin natin na ano ba ang version ng Pilipino na nangyari sa Cavite Mutiny, 1872. Before we go on the topic, it's important that we define what a mutiny is. So, a mutiny is a form of a rebellion against authority, rebellion, pag-aalsa sa mga namumuno. It comes from an old verb, mutin, which means revolt. Ito ay isinulat o inilahad ni Dr. Trinidad Hermenegildo Pardo de Tavera. What is the Filipino version all about? According to Dr. Pardo de Tavera, ang Cavite Mutiny is merely a mutiny by a Filipino soldiers and laborers of the Cavite Arsenal. So nag-agalsa ang mga Pilipino, sundalo at mga manggagawa sa arsenal sa Cavite. Pag sinabi nating arsenal, ito ay paggawaan o imbakan ng mga armas. Armas nino ng mga Spanish government, so sila ang nagbabantay, sila ang nagproprotekta noon. Ngayon, na-dissatisfied sila from the draconian policies of Izquierdo. Sino naman itong si Izquierdo? Si Izquierdo ay Governor General ng Pilipinas during that time. So kung matatandaan nyo, at dahil tayo ay under ng Spain, wala tayong presidente noon. So kumbaga si Governor General Izquierdo na bagong dating sa Pilipinas, siya ang namumuno, siya ang nag-manage ng ating bansang Pilipinas. Nung dumating siya, meron siyang mga inintroduce ng mga polisiya, programa. At ito ay yung abolition ng pribilehiyo na in-enjoy ng mga Filipino soldiers at mga manggagawa sa arsenal. Ano nga ba yung mga pribilehiyo na yun? Unang pribilehiyo ay exempted ang mga sundalo at mga manggagawang Pilipino sa arsenal sa pagbabayad ng tribute or tax. Isipin nyo na lang na ikaw ay exempted sa pagbayad ng tax. That's a privilege. Another privilege is they're also exempted from forced labor. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Example, sa isang pamilya, isang legal edad na lalaki na dapat forced na pagtatrabuhin whether he like it or not. So that is how it works. So yun yung inabolish ni Izquierdo. Kasama na rin ang prohibition of the founding of the School of Arts and Trades. So syempre kung ikaw ay may pribilehiyo na maganda na hindi ka nagbabayad ng buwis, at the same time ay ikaw din ay exempted sa forced labor tas biglang inalis sa'yo. Syempre ikaw ay magrereklamo, ikaw ay mag-aalsa or magko-complain. Sinimula ng uprising of military personnel of Fort San Felipe. Around 200 soldiers and laborers rose up in the belief that it would elevate to a national uprising. The mutiny was unsuccessful and government soldiers executed many of the participants. Mamaya malalaman nyo kung bakit naging unsuccessful. Dito na pumasok ang Burza Fathers. So syempre sa pag-aalsa may itinuturing mastermind. So dito sila nadamay. They were tagged as the masterminds of the Cavite Mutiny. They were prominent Filipino priests, charged with treason and sedition. Yan ang kaso na binangga sa tatlong pari. So bakit kaya? Noong panahon na yon, meron tayong tinatawag na secularization. Ito ay isang movement na kung saan ay ninanais ng mga lokal na kaparian o native clergies. Pag sinabi nating native clergies, mga paring Pilipino na magkaroon ng kanilang simbahan at magkaroon sila ng magandang posisyon at magandang authority sa simbahan. Tandaan nyo dati na noong panahon ng mga Espanyol ay kontrolado ng mga Spanish friars ang mga simbahang Katoliko. So yun yung tinatawag natin secularization. At ito ay isinsulong nila Padre Gomez, Padre Burgos at Padre Zamora. Medyo active sila sa secularization movement kaya sila idinawit ng Spanish government. February 17, 1872, this is Spaniards sending a huge message to us na huwag nyo kaming kalabanin or else ito ang mangyayari sa inyo. Take note, classmates, na this is a scene purportedly witnessed by Ayang Jose Rizal. They were sentenced, they were put in a trial at sila ay ni Garote in public. Garote killing someone by strangulation, typically with an iron wire or cord. Next. Next reporter is Lester.
Siyempre, kung may Filipino version, ay may Spanish version din naman, no? Ano naman kaya itong Spanish version na ito? Next slide. Ito naman ay sinulat ni Jose Montero y Vidal. Isa siyang prolific Spanish historian and documented the event. And according to Spanish version, no, they highlighted the mutiny as an attempt of the Indios to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines. So, inisip nila na, nalaban ng mga Indio, patatasigin nila tayo, have to do something. And at the same time, ito rin ay na-magnify ni Governor General Rafael Izquierdo na sa kanyang report sa Hari ng Espanya and made use of it to implicate the native clergy which was the active in the call for secularization. So ano nga ba itong secularization na ito? Ang secularization is magkaroon ng magandang katungkulan ang mga native clergy, mga Pilipinong pari dito sa Pilipinas na hindi nagustuhan ng mga praeling Espanyol. Next slide. Next slide. So according to Spanish version din, no, ang 1872 Cavite Mutiny was premeditated. So ibig sabihin ng premeditated, ito ay pinagplanuhang mabuti, is a part of a big conspiracy among educated leaders, mestizos, the lawyers, and the residents of Manila and Cavite. They allegedly planned to liquidate high-ranking Spanish officers and then kill the friars. So naunawa natin, no, ito yung Spanish version. So ngayon, on January 20, 1872, apparently at the same time naman, no, ay nagdiriwang ng kapistahan ng Berhen Loreto sa distrito ng Sampaloc, Manila. Siyempre, come with it were some fireworks display. So just try to imagine, no, anong kaya yung itsura ng fireworks display noong 1872. So ngayon, siyempre, wala pang matataas na building noon. Bahay-bahay lang yung meron noon. So na kung anong mangyayari sa kabilang bayan, ay maririnig mo kahit malayo. So yan, narinig ng mga Caviteño. And they mistook it as the signal to commence with the attack. Sabi nila, ayan na, nagpapaputok na sa Manila, sumugod na tayo. Arsenal. Pero ang hindi nila alam, isa lang pala itong fireworks doon sa kapistahan. Next slide. So 200 men, ito na nga, no, yung nag-alsa. It was led by Sergeant Labadred. They attacked Spanish officers at site and seized the arsenal. Now, Izquierdo, upon learning the attack, ordered reinforcement of the Spanish forces in Cavite to quell the revolt. So ito na nga yun, no. So medyo natunugan nila kaya napaghindahan. And at the same time, dahil hindi nga dumating ang mga Manileño na akala ng mga Caviteño na natutulungan sila, so kaya sila natalo, kaya naging unsuccessful ang mutiny na ito. So in result, the leaders of the plot were killed. The Gumborsa fathers were tried by a court martial and sentenced to be executed. So next slide. So at the same time, may mga ibang important personalities and figures ang nadawit at nadamay dito. Kasama na ang mga personalidad na nakikita nyo dito sa screen. They were suspended from the practice of law, arrested, and sentenced to life imprisonment at the Marianas Island. So the quick summary will be discussed by Catherine Araneta.
Good afternoon, sir and classmates. So these are the two versions of Cavite Mutiny. The first is the Filipino version. Filipino version is a simple mutiny by the native Filipino soldiers and laborers of the Cavite arsenal who turned out to be dissatisfied with the abolition of their privileges. And the second one is the Spanish version, an attempt of the Indios to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines. So, just a quick summary. Now we have a two version. Ito yung dalawang mukha ng Cavite Mutiny. The first one is the Filipino version. It's just a simple mutiny. Inalisan nyo kami ng pribilehiyo, inalisan nyo kami ng mga exemption ng sa paganyan-ganyan. Siyempre, madidissatisfied kami, mag-aalsa kami. Okay, that's it. Pero sa Spanish version, no, pinalaki nila yan according to them. It was the attempt of the Indios to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines. So yan yung dalawang muka ng Cavite Mutiny. Next slide. And the
So
and
this
the
is
third
how the
class is
Cavite
our
Mutiny is
Philippines.
related. So this is how the Cavite Mutiny is related to Philippine Revolution. Because of Cavite Mutiny, the Gumborsa fathers were tried or sentenced to death. It was witnessed by Jose Rizal, who then wrote his novels attacking the abuse and then the injustice in the Philippine society during that time. Specifically, ang El Filibusterismo. Ang El Filibusterismo ay ito ay dedicated ni Dr. Jose Rizal sa Gumborsa Fathers. So, anong connect nito sa Philippine Revolution? Nabasa yan ng napakaraming Pilipino at na-impluensyahan ng sinulat ni Jose Rizal ang mga kaisipan ng mga Pilipino at isa na diyan si Andres Bonifacio. So Bonifacio also embraced somehow the ideas and the values of Jose Rizal and then he put it into action. He continued the Philippine Revolution which then resulted to the Philippines independence. So that's all. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.